Okay, hello po. So hope you are doing well. So once again, I am Jovit G. Cain, the course facilitator for ACC 111, Financial Accounting and Reporting. So we are now in the next ULO, which is ULO D. To define and describe the accounting information system, the elements of financial statements, the account titles used in recording, the account or T account, the rules of debit and credit, and the double entry system. So medyo madami-dami po yung topics dito sa ULOD. So laban lang. Let's have the first one, accounting information system. So if we say accounting information system, so this system is needed to generate reliable financial information. So financial information, particularly in the form of financial statements, needed by the decision maker in making economic or timely decisions. And then it is also a system that starts from the economic activities that are inputted to the system and transformed into a useful accounting information and keep the information for future use. So, isa siyang process. So, process from analyzation ng different activities and then it will be processed or transformed into different accounting reports will then be used for economic decisions. So financial information then be given to the decision makers and then go back where the process starts. So this is accounting information system. So parang balik-balik lang siya, no? So it provides financial information. So and then it will be given to different users in making economic decisions. So there are different types of information system. The first and the common one is the manual accounting information system, which is common to small businesses since it has a small transactions or less transactions than other large businesses. So this is a system processing information using, take a look at this one, human processing abilities. So by manpower and skills using papers and pen. So it may be in a form of yung common na columnar books, mga journal books, okay? And this uses labor intensive and became inefficient since today's complexity, accounting and business environment. So this is actually most common to small businesses kasi nga lease transaction lang sila and then it is not common to complex transaction business environment. So the businesses which has a complex transactions may then be used computer-based accounting information system. So this is an integration na. So as you can see, the system that process business transaction using machines like computers and calculators to make it more easy to achieve output that are more reliable and accurate than manual system. So this is an integration of technology in a form of computer. So it may be used by spreadsheets or simple yun nga, Microsoft Excel. And bakit siya more reliable? Kasi nga it would have less human error than manual system. Okay? Kasi yung manual system, more on human error, prone to human error kasi nga lahat is in writing. While in computerized based accounting system naman, it is uses or merong integration ng technology in a form of computers, well then it is easy to generate data or accounting reports. So in this case, another one which is the more advanced is the use of database accounting information system. So the system are advanced since it is a system or the information are processed in an accounting software. So meron na siyang accounting software. So it may be, yun nga, you buy accounting software to online, okay? Such as enterprise economic planning or resource planning, yung SAP, Oracle, yung QuickBooks, or even PeopleSoft. So these are the common accounting software. So these are the different types of accounting information system. So manual accounting information system, which uses more on books, yung mga columnar books, journal books, or ledger. And then it may be computerized based accounting information system, which is the integration of technology in a form of computers. And then the next one, which is the advanced one, is you do have an accounting software, or which is database accounting information system. So these are the stages of data processing, which follows. The first one is input. So you are to input data. Okay? So yung saan ba yung galing yung data? O ano yung mga documents? So it may be in a form of mga receipts, mga resibo, sales invoice, you do have delivery, or di kaya purchase invoice. Okay? And then those source document, okay, na na-input na, it will then be processed. It may be manually, computerized, or with the use of accounting software to generate output. So, ano yung output? Yung mga accounting reports, particularly financial statements. So these are the stages of data processing: input, processing, and then output. So the next one is the elements of financial statement. So the elements of financial statement, meron po siyang 5. So what are those? These are assets, liabilities, owner's equity, income, and expenses. So these are the uh, elements of financial statements. So we will discuss one by one later on in this recorded video or another set of recorded video na naman. But before we are to discuss one by one, let's have muna a recap. What do you mean by financial statements? So remember this one, this was actually the discussion yung sa first part or first ULOA. Remember that the users or capital providers provide resources to company. And then si company naman magbibigay ng information. The question now is, sa unsa nga pamaagi or in what way does the information provided to uh, different users or capital providers? So in this in the form of financial statement. So naka-heart pa siya, no? So heart. Financial statements. Okay. So again, financial statements, the end product or output ng accounting cycle. So reports used in making economic decisions. So yun man talaga yung purpose ng financial statement, generated to be used in making economic decisions. So what are the complete set of financial statements? So the complete set of financial statement is meron po siyang 5. The first one is statement of financial position or balance sheet. Second one is statement of financial comprehensive income or income statement. Again, statement of comprehensive income or income statement. The third one is a statement of cash flows. Fourth one is a statement of changes in owner's equity. And the fifth one is notes to financial statements. But in this ULO we are to discuss the first two. Okay? So ano yung first two dito? Set of financial statements. So you do have the balance sheet or the income and the income statement. Okay? So The elements of financial statements, once again, so you do have here the first two discussion is that the balance sheet is composed of assets, liabilities, and equity. So remember, these three, ito yung assets, liabilities, and equity, this is three of five or yung elements of financial statements. Three of the five elements of financial statement. So yung balance sheet is composed of assets, liabilities, and equity. And then the next one is that the income statement naman is composed of revenue and expenses. Okay? Again, balance sheet is composed of assets, liabilities, and equity, while income statement naman is a composition of revenue and expenses. Expenses. Okay. So financial position, the first one is assets or sa Tagalog, yaman o pag-aari. So this is the present obligation, no, present economic resource pala, sorry. A right that has the potential to produce economic benefits controlled by the entity as a result of past transactions or events. So by this definition, it states about three aspects. So the first one is that meron kang right, okay? Right can be or have potential economic benefits in various ways. So it produces economic benefits to be used in the production or di kaya in the office. So, potential to produce economic benefits to the entity. So, kumbaga, an asset that can produce another asset. So, like for example, mga equipment used in the production process. So, the raw materials are processed using an asset or yung equipment to produce another asset which is yung finished products. And the last one, syempre, if that is your asset o yung pag-aari mo, so you do have the control. Control that results to a present ability to direct the use of the economic resource and obtain the economic benefits that may be flow from the resources. So financial position, next one is the liability. So pag sinabi natin liability, it is a present obligation. Okay. Obligation of the entity to transfer economic resources as a result of past transactions or events. The existence of liability must meet all the criteria. So the first one is that the entity has an obligation. So meron siyang utang. Okay? Siyempre yung utang, babayaran. So, merong transfer of economic resources. Babayaran mo siya. Okay? And then the next one is that the obligation is a present obligation that exists as a result of past events. For example, pag nag-order ka sa a food panda, siyempre nag-order ka sa food panda, so that's a transaction. And then later on, na-deliver na siya, so meron ka ng obligation. So because of past transaction na nag-order ka and then na-deliver na siya, you do have the obligation to pay the food you have ordered. Okay? So that is the liability. And then the last one for the composition of financial position or balance sheet is the equity. So equity is actually, the definition of this one is para siyang computation. So ano yung computation? Equity is equals to asset minus liabilities. Or in other terms, this is the residual interest after deducting all liabilities from the total assets. This pertains to the following dependent on what type of business organization. So residual interests. So kumbaga, by definition, para sa formula, which is asset minus liabilities. Okay? So, sa pag-sole proprietorship, it is called as owner's equity. Partnership, that is called or also called as partners equity. Then pag corporation, it is considered as stockholders equity or shareholders equity. And then pag cooperatives naman, it is considered as members equity. So that is the composition or the elements of financial position. So yung asset, liabilities, and equity. And then the next one is the income statement or the statement or your financial performance, which is it composed of income, the first one. So it increases the asset or decreases the liability that resulted to an increase in equity other than those related to contributions from the holders of the equity claims. So this is actually para siyang yung sa ano, the definition is actually a discussion for the dual system of accounting. But in this case, pag sinabi natin income, okay, is our parang halin, na halin mo, no? Halin mo for the particular year. It's because of the transactions or di kaya ang services na na-rendered nimo for that particular year. So that is considered as income. Kasi nahalina naman ka kung nakarender na ka og service. And then pag sinabi natin expenses naman, by definition, this decreases in asset or increases in liabilities that resulted to decrease in equity other than those related to distributions to holders of equity claims. So we will discuss what do you mean by this one later on sa double entry accounting system. So pag sinabi natin expenses naman, these are costs related to it may be production or mga office transactions ng company. So kumbaga, mo ni ang mga galastuon sa company. Okay? So again, financial performance or yung income statement is a composition of income and expenses. So that is for the first part, and wait mo lang po kayo for the next part. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye and God bless.